Welcome back to the archive. If you haven't seen the first episode, aka May 2008, go check it out now for an intro to this series. Anyway, the first video has me dreading the return to school.
Unfortunately, my holidays is basically over. I've got one day left. Now school, you know what that is. It's a really boring place where kids from the age of 5 to around 18 have to go there to learn stuff. Definitely dreading school. Time is going to go so slow for me now. Every day is going to feel like a year to me. Year 9's bad. Year 10 is worse. Year 11 is worse. Year 12 is the worst. So basically every year you go through it gets harder and worse. More boring, more painful. Painful as in painful brainness.
Wow, painful brainness. Now that's a term I've never heard before. I'd probably use the words mentally exhausting if I was to explain it now, but anyway, with the bad news out of the way, it's time to move on to the good news.
Okay, Jasmine is now home. We've just all come home, and Jasmine is home for the first day of her life. And I've had a horrible haircut by Mum.
I was just about to mention the haircut, but now I don't have to. His words, not mine. Well, technically mine and still mine, but at least I don't have to verbalise it again 10 years later. Anyway, here's Jasmine.
Here she is.
Here she is, the little one. It's alright, little thing.
What? Don't vomit, Jasmine, please. Oh no, she's gonna vomit,
Yeah, I remember at this point, Jasmine vomited up milk every 5 minutes, so I was really cautious about her being held over me and my computer.
So, Jasmine, that's what you pretty much are on your first day home.
Honestly, this video did sum up Jasmine pretty well. A semi-crying thing wearing pink clothes. But in the next video, I give a more detailed review.
Unless she's pooed, or she's hungry, or she's crying, that's the only time she's awake. Other than that, she's asleep the whole time.
Wow, that sounds pretty bad. If it were a movie review rather than a baby review, it probably would have gotten a 1-star rating.
Let's just say this whole Jasmine thing, it still hasn't clicked that I have a sister. Like, still hasn't that I have a sister yet. I didn't use that as a click sound, but anyway.
Yes, sorry, that wasn't clever. That was really cringy. Anyway, let's move on to Jasmine being bottle fed, but before she gets a bottle, she gets kissed more times than I can count.
And here's Jasmine.
Everyone loves the little one, cause she's feeding very well.
Okay, so if she didn't feed well, nobody would love her? It seems my dad made a song out of this to ingrain it into her mind.
Cause she's feeding very well.
Yeah, that may have been the cringiest thing in the world that instead left a scar in her mind. But next, my dad demonstrates what happens if she doesn't feed well.
Your head won't last long, little one, cause I will eat it. Grilled.
Yeah, we better move on before this gets rated M for showing blood and gore. Anyway, in the next video, I discuss how my iPod Touch 2nd Gen won't be the latest for much longer due to the 3rd Gen releasing soon, and in the video after that, I discuss some of the things that I'm currently waiting for.
Okay, 1. Jasmine to grow up, because it's very annoying Jasmine being a baby and all she does is eat, poo, wee, fart, sleep and cry.
Wow, these mini reviews of Jasmine get more detailed and worse every time. Anyway, the rest of this video is just me talking about various games and operating systems I'm waiting for, so let's move on.
Okay, recently I found a really cool iPod Touch application that my dad absolutely loves. It's called Police Scanner.
Yeah, don't worry, my dad's not a criminal that uses this to his advantage. He just enjoys listening to police radios and the action that's occurring on them.
But the police radio, you can hear the police. See?
Okay, enough listening to random cops. It's now time to see what my dad is getting up to with Jasmine.
Tiny little thing. So Sweetie boy, tiny little chassis, sweet little thing. It's alright.
Okay, I'll skip the nappy change, but overall, Jasmine doesn't seem too happy. Yeah, that's a sound you'll hear a lot of. Let's change the scenery.
Here it is, little one.
Yeah, see what I mean? She's only awake when she's either pooed, feeding, or crying. Oh, but wait, she's calm now. No, that's only because she's forcing out another poo. Well, I rest my case. Let's move on.
Grandpa's here, and Jasmine's here.
Yep, Grandpa's come for lunch, but as Jasmine is a baby, she's still way too young to eat with us at the table.
How are you, Philip? Alright?
Yeah.
If I can have a fork, love, I know. Is this the sharp knife?
I was in the RTA yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Paying for the rego. And you know what? They've got these manly
I know, seal number plates.
Isn't
Yeah,
that just
people buy them. They're just trying to make money. You've got to have the onion, mate. It adds flavour, doesn't it, the onion?
What happened with Nana? Was she not well?
Leg wasn't good.
I'm surprised she didn't come because you know how she likes to do Jasmine.
Yeah, sadly, even with Jasmine now at home, it still wasn't enough to convince Nana to come over and visit due to her declining health.
The baby health nurse came here for a home visit and she weighed Jasmine. We couldn't believe it. She was 2.95 kilos, so practically 3 kilos. She normally has a really bad grizzle period from 8 o'clock at night for a couple of hours. That's her evening time is her grizzly, really bad period.
I'd actually disagree. Every moment of the waking life back then was basically a grisly period. Anyway, on the topic of Jasmine, it's time for a feed.
If I didn't bring it down, I'd be the worst in the world. So.
It's all
Noisy.
You enjoying that, Jasmine? Look at her little fingers compared to mine. When do you have to change the jumpsuit?
when it gets too small,
But when's that?
when she grows out of it.
Don't you just hate those round and round conversations when you ask someone a question and then they don't give you the time frame or detail you wanted, then you ask them again and they just rephrase what they just said without giving you any new information? My dad used to do that all the time. When I asked, "What's for dinner?" he would reply, "Food." And then annoyed, I'd say, "What food?" And he'd just reply, "It's just dinner, no more questions." Oh, I hated that. Anyway, after watching Mum feed Jasmine, Grandpa headed off.
I'll see you next time.
See you, mate.
I'm gonna just get a bit of sun on her skin
Oh,
because it's actually good vitamin D.
What's she doing? Does she like it?
Screwing up her face a bit.
She's gonna show Prue.
Yeah, Prue was the one that got scared of the teddy bear we attempted to place between her wooden door and screen door, and in response called the police. But she apparently wasn't home this time around, probably because she thought it was another teddy bear at the door. Anyway, let's move on.
I have been, well, ages ago, I did, I think last year I did a few offers, like not surveys, but a few offers like signing up to other websites and stuff.
I'm not doing a good job of explaining it there, so I'll just explain it now. Back in 2009, there was a website called Gaming Lagoon that gave you points for watching movie trailers, watching short TV shows, and signing up for various websites. With the points, you get a variety of prizes, with the major ones being laptops and phones, but all I could afford with my points was something very tiny.
I got this envelope in the mail. It's got a bunch of USA stamps on it, because this is from America. And this came in the mailbox, so I don't know if you have mailboxes in the future if everything's email, but I got it. The light thing, it's like a little thing and you press it and it lights up, like you can light up rooms. Sorry, wait, that looks cool. Basically it's like a light thing and you can look at stuff with this light. It's like a torch, a tiny torch that fits in your hand.
Well, you generally hope a torch fits in your hand, otherwise it wouldn't be very portable. But this wasn't really a torch, it was more of a keyring light. Anyway, time to move on to a video that my dad made of Jasmine.
Oh, what a sweet thing.
Yep, just as I keep saying, if she's not sleeping, pooing or drinking, she's crying. Yup, this silence is due to her now pooing. And now let's move on to when she's finished pooing. Actually, I don't want to hear crying, so let's skip a bit. Yep, the only other time she's quiet is when she's drinking. And when she finishes drinking... But let me introduce you to a fantastic invention. This is called a dummy. Unless, of course, you live in America, then you'd call it a pacifier, but either way, it's a lifesaver. Both for the parents who need a break from the crying, and also for the babies, since it literally saves their lives as it reduces the chances of sudden infant death syndrome, aka babies dying without warning in their sleep. The only problem is that when the dummy falls out... all hell breaks loose until the dummy is back in the mouth. Anyway, in the next video, I simply look at high-spec computers for 2009, such as the ability to have 32 gigs of RAM in the Mac Pro, equal to what I have in my current 2014 computer that I still use in 2019. And I also get excited over the whopping 2TB drive from Western Digital, but this video is filmed and commentated quite poorly, so we'll skip this as well as my over-the-top with glowing effects PowerPoint presentation I made for school, and instead move on to me talking about Jasmine.
In this archive video, I'm going to talk about the current situation with Jasmine.
Wow, that keyring torch is already being put to strange uses. That double flash as I say Jasmine is just why?
Every 4 hours she have to be fed formula, and if she's not fed formula, boom, she'll start crying and she'll go, where?
Okay, that light's just gone from weird to cringy now, so let's move on.
Okay, this is Jasmine, my little sister. This is what she currently looks like today. She is 1 month pregnant.
Gee, you'd hope she wouldn't be pregnant at that age. What I meant to say here was that Jasmine was 5 weeks old.
So here she is. To compare to me, she's quite small. See how big it is to compare to her. Well, Jasmine, remember this moment. See if you can remember this when you're older. Let it be your little challenge.
Your little challenge? That's a huge challenge to remember exact moments from the age of 5 weeks. Anyway, time to take down the birth calendar.
She's born. What's the use of this Jasmine calendar anymore?
Oh yeah, get rid of it.
Got coloured up to there.
Let me see it.
She's holding. She's holding.
Yeah,
She held it. Well, there you go. That was Jasmine in my room.
Why the heck do I keep doing a double flash with the keyring torch when I say Jasmine? Anyway, the next video is titled Jasmine laying in my bed with a pink toy.
Jasmine is right now in my bed, and look what she's doing. She's playing with this pink thing here. She's playing with this pink thing here.
Yeah, let's watch. Phil, I want to look at all the pictures now.
Wow, bad timing. Just as I start recording Jasmine playing with a pink elephant the same size as her, Mum comes in and says she wants to look at photos on my computer. And to make matters worse, once we finish looking at the photos, this happens.
Might have to pop her to bed.
Oh, I want to film her now.
No, she's got to go to bed.
Yep, so I completely missed out on filming Jasmine there, but luckily you'll see her later in the day as my Uncle Matthew and his wife come to visit during the Sunday lunch with my grandpa. Here's their son Mark that you last saw in episode 6 attacking his dad, and don't worry, he doesn't do that anymore. Anyway, let's watch this family gathering.
I've been over there about 5 or 6 times.
Oh really?
So I have big gaming expos.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I've been to
Good.
Yeah.
And then what do you
LA,
want?
in California,
Is it what you
Miami, New York,
No,
business and
I
stuff.
don't.
Yeah.
I always wanted the time to get to Vegas.
She's so glad now with the
It's a place you've got to go to.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, 2 hours ago, there's no one.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for it.
My uncle refers to my mum as Spy because she used to spy on people a lot when she was younger, and for some reason that name has stuck around.
Yeah, that's too
I don't know what happened, Diana. I seem to have wound up with 2 forks.
I will ask you. Yeah, he looks after Jasmine during the day, and I look after her through the night.
She slept through the night?
No, every 4 hours she's up.
Hello, Mark.
Philip is talking more like a man now.
Yeah.
He's talking like a girl before.
The reason Matthew said I'm speaking more like a man is because last year when my voice was higher, I called his wife to ask if I could speak to Matthew, and she thought I was another woman after a husband or something, and she told Matthew that women were calling his house asking for him. It took us quite a few weeks to figure out what was going on, but anyway, at this point, Jasmine woke up.
Hello, babe. From the bushes, I'm looking around the coast. Who said that? How can someone know me out here in the bushes?
Jasmine started to cry.
Has she?
Yeah.
Will Mark have any Lamington or?
He will have a little bit.
You give us a small bit, though.
Small bit, yeah.
So he tends to eat a bit and play with it.
You can always mix it up if.
Yeah.
Third of a
I'm just going to go
price.
and
But I'll just buy another one. See what happens. And it went. So then
You give that.
I just repaired them. I worked out what's gone, yeah.
You can't stop looking at her. She's so beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny she is. Cool.
Yeah, she's a baby.
That's
usually what happens.
Yeah, my uncle calls my dad Chook, and not only was it obvious that she'd be small due to being a baby, but my dad's already seen Jasmine for the last 5 or so weeks, so it doesn't need to be pointed out to him that his own daughter's tiny.
Monkey. Look, puppy.
you see, puppy?
You're jealous, baby.
What was she when she was born, Diana? 4'6".
Wow, 2.46.
Well, I'm very lucky actually because a lady at work lended me all the stuff like that, little downstream. So many things.
Oh, it was all the stuff from Philip you'd already passed on.
Oh, got rid of.
Oh, okay.
Marky, come.
How Philip fitting in with that newborn?
And he's good, he's holding her very well. And
Yeah.
he knows what to do, like if I'm at work, he knows what to do if she wakes up to settle her. So he settles her and then when I come home, you know, ready for her feeding.
Lemon what?
Lamington.
Lemon tea.
We've got fresh cream in it.
Yeah.
Lamington's an Australian dish.
Yeah, it is. It tastes fresh.
That's yeah.
Lamington is a great dessert, that's not debatable, but whether or not it's an Australian or New Zealand dish has been argued about for decades. Articles constantly pop up with historical evidence from paintings and so on that attempt to prove that they existed in New Zealand before they existed in Australia.
Someone's awake.
So she came out a month ago then?
She came out a month ago. I probably use the term born there rather than she came out.
Very interested in the baby, aren't you, Mark? No? Is that no troubles at all, Diana?
No troubles.
What?
That awkward, sarcastic laugh said it all.
Sure. He did a blinder this morning, mate. I had time cleaning it up.
What?
Mark,
Oh, yeah.
Did he?
there,
You go used to it.
on his legs, on his feet,
Yeah.
all over, yeah, one of those.
You just peg him on the line and hose him off.
Yeah, some poos can go all over the place, and cleaning up your child after this can be a very unpleasant experience. But imagine years as a childcare worker when I was changing over 30 diapers every day. After changing explosive diarrhea at least once a day, I've experienced a lot worse at nappy change time than any parent could imagine.
Yum, yum,
That
yum,
was
isn't
alright, wasn't it?
Mark.
This way.
Young Mark.
Brothers.
As brothers, they look completely different from each other. And with that beanie on, my dad looks more like a thug than a taxi driver. I'm surprised he got any passengers looking like that.
3 of you and Jasmine too. Yep.
Because this time we pass it. But later when I see her again, I say, wow, I can't believe it. She's going so fast. I can't believe it. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Mark, look and smile. Oh, she would be crying, that's it.
I'm not sure what it is, but Matthew has a massive wet patch on his leg, so this photo has always been comedic to us.
Right? That's your niece, Mark.
That's a nice one.
Is it niece?
Yeah, good.
Okay, both of you. You're smiling? Mark, look at me.
look here.
Look at me, Mark. Here. Here. No, look at me. Oh, that's a really good one, actually. Oh, good. Okay.
That's it.
Oh, she was crying.
Oh, but you can't hear it in the photo, so.
Well, just because you can't hear her crying in the photo, it doesn't mean you can't see her crying. Anyway, at this point, I put a monkey mask on my face and walked up to Mark to see his reaction.
Mark!
So I want him, and then I try and do
I love how Mark freezes in fear, not knowing what to do until I take the mask off, and then his face of fear turns into happiness.
knowing the day to be able to go through school.
I made a mistake with myself. I went in straight away.
You're looking at the Big Pond modem, Mark.
I'm not sure why I had to specify that the modem was from Big Pond, but anyway, the rest of this video is just Mark looking through Jasmine's toys, so we'll finish off the episode here and I'll see you guys in the next episode featuring September 2009, the month where Mum briefly appears on TV and my dad attempts to entertain Jazzy with a variety of different toys. See you then.